It's Friday and we've reached the end of yet another week, and a cold one this time. Well, we're thinking about simplifying our lives, and today we're thinking about forgiveness or letting go of resentment. Matthew 18, 21 to 35 contains the parable of the unforgiving servant. And we live in a world where we can be offended, mistreated, or even badly abused. What do we do when we get hurt? We can forgive, or we can hang on to it. Sometimes we grossly underestimate the true cost of living with a relational rift. We think we can go about our lives unaffected by conflicts or fractures with people we care about. But this, of course, is far from the truth. Jesus is our great example of forgiveness. He came to forgive us, and in the process of him forgiving us as he was nailed to the cross, he had to say, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." What do you do when somebody wrongs you or when somebody hurts you? Maybe it's something that happened this week, or maybe it's something that happened so long ago that the wound has become something that defines who you are. We can struggle with resentment, and we can struggle to forgive people. Resentment poisons us from the inside out, and it keeps God from doing the work that he wants to do in our hearts and in our lives. You think that you punish them by not forgiving them, but anger, resentment can lead to bitterness, and that slowly takes control of us, and so we're not as free as we thought we were. You think you're free, but you're not. All of your energy is going into maintaining that resentment and maybe even contemplating revenge. But God says to us, "I can set you free." Peter asked before Jesus told this parable, how many times we should forgive somebody who's hurt us. Well, the rabbi said we should forgive 3 times, and Peter offered a suggestion of 7 times. But Jesus' reply was 70 times 7. And I don't think Jesus is being literal. I think Jesus is saying that you'll lose count before you stop forgiving. I think this tells us something really important about God's view of forgiveness. God's expectations for us is that although we might wrong each other many times in the course of friendship, God's design is that we will forgive each other every time. A lot of times when we talk about friendship or a marriage relationship or a family relationship, we think that if something goes wrong, if one person hurts another person, then the relationship is over. If something goes wrong in a relationship, it's not over. If something goes wrong in a friendship, it's normal in our fallen and broken world. We are all sinners. We all fail. We all let others down in our relationships. And we all experience conflict. And forgiveness is what puts the broken pieces back together again. Forgiveness is part of God's design, both for now and for the future. It's how we need to relate to each other in this broken world. Lewis Smead says, forgiveness is God's invention for coming to terms with the world in which, despite their best intentions, people are unfair to each other, they hurt each other deeply. And he began by forgiving us, and he invites us to forgive each other. If this is how the world is, then the ability to forgive is an essential skill or characteristic that we all need. If we can't forgive, then we probably shouldn't get married or have any friends, because it won't end well. This parable reminds us that a holy God extends his grace and forgiveness and his mercy for everything that we've ever done wrong or everything that we've failed to do. But if we're not careful, we forget. And so we're thankful to be forgiven, but it's so easy to use our newfound freedom to make somebody else pay. And Jesus is saying, that's not the way my kingdom works. In my kingdom, you follow my example. And my example is grace upon grace. In my kingdom, you use your freedom to set other people free. Why do we forgive? Two reasons. Firstly, because we forgive others because we are forgiven. And secondly, we forgive because we want to be free. Is there anyone in your life that you might just need to offer a second chance to? Forgiveness is necessary, but it's not simple. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.